Hello. I'm so lucky that I get to make stained glass windows. I've got one on the light box behind me at the moment. But today I'd like to talk about a window that I completed last year, and it was designed to celebrate the bicentenary of the birth of Florence Nightingale. I'm sure many of you know that that was last May when we were all in lockdown. I called it the calling window. And I designed it deliberately to evoke a scene of almost a traditional annunciation. It's actually a historical moment in her life when, just before her 16th birthday, she was sitting on a bench under a cedar tree in her garden. In her own words, she wrote this in her diary several times in her life, she heard the voice of God calling me to his service. She turns and encounters the words, "Lo, it is I." Nightingale often quoted these, what she described as 4 words of 1 syllable, as summing up the Christian faith, the essence of our faith, when Christ is seen walking towards his disciples on the water, rising above the chaos of the world and bringing consolation. I believe that everyone is called. For some, it might be a really long journey to discover exactly what that calling is, but calling is certainly not reserved for the exclusive few. Today's reading is about a grain of wheat falling to the earth. In order for it to bear fruit, it has to die. There's a cost involved in discipleship and in answering whatever we're called to in life. Nightingale's name is now even more significant in the wake of COVID. We've got hospitals, vaccination centres, even emergency law courts named after her, but she despised celebrity. She stressed to her nurses repeatedly that she and they had chosen a life of service to others and that they were to treat everyone as though they were serving Christ. That's why the light that she's turning towards is in the shape of the cross. Good Friday had the greatest significance to her, in keeping with her lifelong choice to put others before herself. On her lap lies a Bible. It's open at Isaiah. And the words at her feet, which I've chosen to depict in her own very distinctive handwriting, express her understanding of personal mission and how it drove her life's work. The cedar tree under which Nightingale sat had a distinctive split trunk, and in the right-hand side I've carved the words, "I was sick and ye nursed me." Again, Nightingale adapts the words from Matthew 25, verse 36, to describe her own motivation for nursing, that it's a practical act of service that Christ asks that we do for everyone in his name. There are so many symbols in this window. Unfortunately, I haven't got time to share them all, but I'd like to end with the swallows crowning this design. During the Renaissance, swallows were frequently used in paintings to symbolise the resurrection of Christ. So in a similar way to the symbols used in my baptism window, with which I started this series, we're offered here a journey that takes us from our own calling and concludes with the promise of new life with Christ in resurrection.